How am I prepared mentally? So mentally it's a competitive fight and I've got to bring competition. So in that sense, mentally it's not just about, all right, I want to box well and all this, just win. Mentally, like win, refuse to be beat. And that's how you mentally approach the fight, just go in there with a winner's mindset.
So Jake, you can fight basically anybody. You decide who your opponents are going to be. Why was this man the right opponent for right now?
I think this talk has been part of the conversation, and we've always wanted to fight each other. There's been some talk back and forth for a couple of years, and my goal is to become world champion and the WBA and WBC.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming that can put him to sleep 1000%.
Jake Paul entered speaking like someone who'd already mapped the celebration path and chosen the soundtrack, selling that unrealistic positivity message and vowing to amaze the entire planet.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna break his face, I'm gonna break his body up, I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting, no matter who it is.
Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua simply stayed composed as top-shelf Frost. See, this isn't some comic book saga. This is a confirmed engagement, and Jake's the one who scheduled it.
Who has more pressure on them going into this fight?
100% Anthony. Yeah, 1000%. This is something that's gonna weigh on him, right? Like, because of what you said, I'm going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Jake portrayed himself as the bold revolutionary, the person who examines a heavyweight champion and recognizes a profit venture rather than a danger signal. And AJ responded with that silent, courteous threat that feels like, I'll handle this professionally.
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through wars, and I'm still standing super strong. I align myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire.
Jake's soul fantasizes speed, positioning, and smooth movement like he's preparing to try out for rhythm with the Giants. And Joshua peacefully discussed force, timing, and creating it unbearable.
I don't think there's any chance in the world, knowing what Anthony Joshua is a specialist at, he's a specialist at putting knuckles through your brain, and that's what he's going to try to do to Jake Paul. And anything other than that, if from a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua, will make us all think it's a fixed fight. Whether or not Joshua can do it, whether or not, Jake Paul shocks the world and shows us that he really does know how to box really well and moves really good and uses his jab and blows us all away with a strategy and a lot of footwork and move.
Jake promised he'd need to be halted by fate alone, and AJ essentially responded, interesting tale. Let's verify that hypothesis. It was excitement versus preparation, streaming vibe versus championship test mindset, and you sensed the difference.
Any secret to boxing a guy like
just get him with the right hand. That's what Jake Paul's looking for, the right hand. And if he lands, he could do good damage. So a lot of people underestimate Jake Paul, but in reality, he's a good fighter and he's dedicated, and that's what I like about him.
One person selling confidence with a motivational conference grin, the other projecting the composure of somebody who's previously studied the outline and understands how the chapter concludes. And right when you believe the Jake versus AJ madness couldn't become any more theatrical, Eddie Hearn appears like a composed cab operator observing two racing vehicles debate about who's quicker and simply states, easy boys. We've calculated the numbers.
You're quoted on record saying that you and AJ must retire if Jake Paul wins on December 19th. Stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I suppose so. Yeah. Look, I don't see a world where Jake Paul wins this fight. I know that boxing's boxing. And I mean, what is it? Roy Jones came out this morning and said Jake Paul can win this fight.
Teddy Atlas as well.
Teddy Atlas? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now I'm a bit worried. I won't retire. AJ should retire if he loses.
I'm seated here with you, considering. This gentleman is discussing retirement conditions like he's planning vacation arrangements. And somehow, it's still completely rootless. Eddie's essentially stating, if AJ fails, we're not organizing a media event, we're organizing a goodbye journey. But he presents it so graciously, you nearly want to cheer. And the most amusing aspect, he's explaining the mass situation like a fitness coach with a motivational statement board, reminding us that a trimmer AJ is a faster AJ, which in fighting language means fewer training snapshots, more terror material.
Don't forget, AJ's never made weight before, so all of a sudden he's tried. You know, he's been in camp for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and he's probably sitting at, I don't know, 260, 265, and it's like you got to make 245. It's 20 pounds. The weight clause and all of this is going to be an issue. It's something we have to keep our eye on. But I think AJ feels great. I think actually the lighter AJ is, the better he is.
Meanwhile, Jake's still entering with champion certainty, and I acknowledge it. But certainty without heavyweight experience is like requesting a meat with no seasoning and naming it premium. You, me, everybody observing can sense it. This is no laughing matter. Team AJ's approaching this like a global championship, and Eddie's delivering it so effortlessly, it seems like a formal declaration. So now I'm viewing you like make your wagers and secure your snacks, because one person is imagining large and the other person is preparing instruments. And records usually favors with the builder who carried the equipment, not the person who carried the inspirational presentation.
I see AJ winning this fight with ease, comprehensively, destructively, violently, and I don't see a world where Jake Paul is competitive in the fight, let alone win the fight. But luckily, AJ's not preparing in a way that he just thinks it's a joke. He's preparing for Jake Paul like he's a world title contender. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shorter camp. Yes, we've got to make weight this time around, but it doesn't matter.
And right when Eddie Hearn had us in complete business mode, discussing masses, conditions, and AJ operating like an accuracy-designed apparatus, we transition effortlessly into Aid Oladipo zone. And suddenly, the atmosphere changes from conference room intensity to that companion who memorizes every fighting fact and still carries treats to the discussion. I'm seated here with you, considering Aid doesn't simply discuss boxing, he describes it like he's been directly offended by every questionable decision since.
One in the top 10, where AJ's taking it seriously. He's answering the questions direct that Ariel's throwing him. There was no, yeah, we're here to kind of f*** around, this is going to be easy, give me my money, let me run back to the UK. This was AJ's like, no, we're taking this seriously. And that ain't a good thing for Jake Paul. It isn't. And AJ is that guy anyway. Like, I would never doubt that AJ would take this seriously. But for Jake Paul, I do wonder if realization is kicking in, or maybe he is just that delusional where he doesn't care.
He examines AJ versus Jake Paul, and you can practically detect the courteous skepticism in his tone, like when somebody informs you they're confronting a tiger to a strength challenge. And the amusing aspect, Jake promoting fantasies and certainty like a midnight television advertisement, while AJ's over there appearing like he programs reminders to remain focused. One person shouting, "Trust in yourself," the other person silently inspecting power measurements on his dominant arm. Then Aid begins reviewing across the remaining of the fighting landscape. And I'm with you, agreeing like correct. This game really declared harmony and silence, and instantly revoked it.
Fascinating press conference. I think one of the biggest takeaways was, and I think we knew this on the circuit anyway, that AJ had left Ben Davison, but he confirmed it. And then he said he's training with Igor. And I wish Ariel pushed him a bit more, because I have no idea who Igor is. I feel like I know quite a few people in this Alexander Usyk camp where AJ is and has been for a while now. But Igor is most certainly not Alexander Usyk's #1 trainer. So I'm guessing it's just someone in the camp. But AJ is now training with that.
Battles to international tier drama. It appears like every competitor is attempting to star a documentary in a match lineup at the same moment. But the method Aid presents it all, that's the brilliance. He maintains it precise, realistic, and just aware enough to make you chuckle without overlooking the importance. It's like observing a veteran instructor describe disorder with a neutral expression, and I appreciate it because you and I understand behind every passionate statement and humorous comment, there's that implied reality. Boxing doesn't compensate volume. It compensates whoever genuinely arrives prepared. And truthfully, that blend of spectacle, dedication, and slight craziness is precisely why we can't turn away.
But I will still stand firm and say AJ should, not will, should get rid of Jake Paul in 1 round. Should. And if he doesn't, then it's more, my questions will be more to AJ. But I'm confident AJ gets this done. And I'm confident AJ hasn't come to play around. So this isn't a case of AJ just come to kind of give the American audience a show and just, make Jake Paul look silly and make Jake Paul miss. And no, I think AJ's come to do damage, collect the check, and go to Saudi and have this fight in February that Turkey's been talking about.
And right as Aid had us captured into that this can't be genuine, but somehow it is, downward, Johnny Nelson enters in and switches the perspective to complete expert mode, providing us that experienced fighter look like he's witnessed this film previously and already understands how the final segment finishes. I'm positioned here with you, considering the same thing Johnny's considering. Jake speaking like a person who's recently found inspiration messages and suddenly thinks he can glide through a heavyweight tempest. Certainty is wonderful. We appreciate certainty. But this isn't a goodwill casual jog. This is Anthony Joshua positioned there, appearing like he's delayed for a very important meeting. You can detect it in Johnny's delivery. That courteous but lethal caution, the type that states, appreciate the experience, kid, but select your movements carefully.
Fight itself, I want to see what AJ's presence in front of Jake Paul would be like, because AJ, especially when it comes to fighting, is a serious dude, and I know Jake Paul, the problem child, he can be rude, he can be in your face. Remember when he snatched Floyd Mayweather's hat, and they do all the kind of things, Mike Tyson ended up slapping him in his face and standing on his toe. I think Jake Paul got there, looked up and thought, shall I chance this?
Now don't misunderstand me. Jake's courage is almost remarkable in a, did he genuinely just express that style of manner? He's out here promoting conviction, storyline, revolution, the complete cinema preview collection. And section of me is amused. The other section is verifying to confirm AJ's equipment are adequately fastened. Because when Nelson reminds us that boxing isn't a recreational activity, he's not kidding. He's interpreting facts. Joshua doesn't require performance. He doesn't require trending occurrences. He just requires one clear opportunity. And suddenly, the dialogue tone shifts real quick. It's like observing someone confront a strategy master with board game instructions.
For AJ, I'm stuck in betwixt and between, because nobody on this green earth would actually turn down 50-60 million to fight Jake Paul. And people that don't like this will probably watch it because they want to see Jake Paul getting knocked out. So what's it say about AJ and what's it say about Jake Paul? I think I was thinking upside down. For AJ, I thought, Mama's cashing out. He's cashing out because he's going down this minute line. But I thought, in reality, is it?
And that's where the spectacle gets appetizing. You, me, everybody observing understands Jake's speech, writes promises. His certainty enjoys collecting. But AJ's aura is the kind that makes a media gathering feel like a career assessment. Johnny's essentially stating the same thing. We're all considering maintain the enthusiasm, maintain the humor, but don't mistake attention with security. Because if Jake enters treating this like a material trial and AJ enters treating it like a serious occupational responsibility, that difference alone might be the strongest noise in the venue. And honestly, that pressure is precisely why we're attached to this disorder feast. So here's the final point. We're observing certainty collide into qualifications, excitement dash straight into heavyweight actuality, and every perspective of this feels like it's been written by disorder with a sense of comedy. Jake's imagining big, AJ's operating quiet and precise, and the pressure alone could market passes to an empty stadium. I want to discover where you stand on this insanity. Is this a wonder in the creation or a lesson waiting to occur? Drop your opinions in the responses like it's a full-blown argument session. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Signals. See you in the next.